film called Hansel and Gretel. They were doing because basically what the Asylum does is shark movies and what they call mockbusters.
Okay.
So they do low-budget versions of big-budget movies.
Right.
So he and I were working on the Hansel and Gretel that they were doing.
Like Transmorphers instead of Transformers.
Right. So Anthony and I were working on a song, and he goes, I got offered from the Asylum to do this movie called Sharknado. And I remember getting out of my chair and grabbing him by the lapels. And Anthony's not the most emotionally forthcoming guy, so it really was this sort of like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know why I'm saying this, but you need to do this movie. And other people told him to do it as well.
Right.
But when I heard Sharknado, the 9-year-old in me just screamed out like a little girl.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, sharks and tornadoes!
Understandably so.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you returning to the Ninja Turtles franchise after so many years with the 2012 series?
I mean, it's like the mob, isn't it? You know, just when you think you're out, they keep pulling you back in.
That's right.
Yeah, it's been like this weird part of my life since the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going on a little over 30 years of this stuff.
Right.
And, I'm a part of something that's way bigger than me.
Right.
You know? And I'm super fortunate to have been allowed to be a part of it.
Sure.
Anytime I get to go back to it, I'm like, and the Mondo Gecko thing is great because I really didn't have to come up with a new character.
Right, yeah.
Just do the same guy. Same paycheck.
It's just an homage this time. You know?
Yeah.
It's not ripping yourself off, it's an homage.
Oh, it's ripping myself off.
So, were you the one who decided to throw Cowabunga back in, or was that in the script?
No, that was in the script.
Okay.
But occasionally I will, when I'm doing signings, I will write, the hell is a booyakasha anyway? Oh, dumb.
Thanks.
Poor Greg has to say that all the time.
Awesome. Well, that's about all the questions I got. Let's hand the mic around. Who's got one?
Yes, over there in the glasses, sir.
So what was your favorite and least favorite part about playing Michaelangelo?
Well, there's no real downside, and once again, I mean, look, part of the reason that character is so popular is he gets to say fun stuff. And so I get to have these awesome words in my mouth that people respond to. How many times at the table already people have just walked up and gone, pizza dude's got 30 seconds. So that's amazing. That's a great thing. I guess the bad part about it is I'm not in any of the new ones. How's that? Yes, sir.
I was actually going to ask, did you see the new ones, and what was your impression of the new ones?
Uh-oh.
This is my impression of the new ones. I'm going to make them aliens. Shut up, Mike. Just be quiet. We're not interested in what you have to say about it. That's terrible. That's a terrible thing to say. He's a perfectly talented man out there making lots and lots of money. Is anybody familiar with epic rap battles of history? Yeah! Right? The Michael Bay one is, I'm all about the money! It's amazing. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh. You have to run around like this.
Was it hard coming up with a voice for Michaelangelo?
One more time, a little louder.
Was it hard coming up with a voice?
Oh, that. There's a trick to it. The technology now, because I do Naruto, right? So for the Choji stuff, I'm doing exactly that automatic dialogue replacement stuff. And it's way easier now because if I'm a little late or a little early, some engineer can go, boop, and then it's there. In the 90s, it was literally you had to nail that performance, so it was a bit tricky at first, but it just sounds really dumb, but it's my job. Like some people have to split that rail, some people have to, get that stump cut in half with a big axe. I have to make sure that the lip flaps match. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Rob.
Oh, right.
So,
Brandon, yes.
my bestie wanted to ask this. He says, do you remember those roles you did when you were a kid, and how do you feel that prepared you for what you are doing these days?
Oh, well, I had the greatest on-the-job training. I've taken some acting lessons in my time, but largely I learned kind of as I went. And so all of the things that I did as a just like anything else, that's like asking a baseball, asking a pitcher, like, what about throwing 900,000 pitches in a row has prepared you for what you're doing now? Well, I'm in the World Series, I guess. Doing all of the 9,000 throwing of balls thing was that's what got me here. As Roger Waters said, it was all just bricks in the wall, man. Every job you learn something on. Actors, performers in general, it's a freelance job, and so you can pick up all kinds of things from all kinds of different people with great regularity, because every job is largely a whole new working team. So I learned so much about ego and being easy to work with, and being present when you're working. There was a lot of things that I don't know, most 10-year-olds don't learn. Yeah. Well, did that answer it? Kinda? All right. I don't know, sometimes I catch myself in the middle of talking, and then in the back of my mind, I see you guys looking at me going, just shut up. Stop talking, Bob. Good Lord, driving me bananas. Because that's usually what's going on back here. Back here, there's a little voice going, shut up, Bob. They don't care. What?
He said you sound like Raphael when you say that.
Well, yeah. The funny thing is, Michaelangelo may have been everybody I went to high school with, but I'm way more Raphael on the inside.
So my question is, a lot of people here, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were their heroes growing up. Who are your heroes growing up?
Well, part of the reason that I'm an actor at all is because of Lon Chaney Jr. and his dad. I was obsessed with those 1930s Universal horror films, and so much so that the Wolfman, which is, it makes perfect sense actually that I'd be this melancholy bastard you see in front of you today because of the Wolfman, which is, of all of those Universal movies, it is the most navel-gazy and, so those guys. Also, music always informed what I did. So, as an actor, I'm just as much influenced by Freddie Mercury as I am by Lon Chaney Jr. So, I take everything. It's all just entertainment is one big gumbo.
Awesome. All right, got you here.
Finally, this side of the room signs on. All right, good.
Hi.
Move my microphone.
I was wondering if you'd be willing to say that famous line, God, I love being a turtle.
God, I love being a turtle! Woo! See? It's about 4 notes lower than it was when I was 30. But yeah, it's somewhere in that area. Yeah.
Thank you.
I catch myself doing Michelangelo now, and I'm like, oh my God, Michelangelo's an elder statesman.
So did you read originally to play Michelangelo, or were you interested in any of the other turtles?
Yeah, no, Michelangelo's the only one they really. Yeah, I mean, and at the time I was doing a bunch of dude voices for commercials and things.
Right.
Yeah, so I was primed. I was ready to go.
Right. All right, any questions? Oh, all the way in the back. I'll be right back to you.
Run! We're running out of time!
Just a question. You were Mondo Gecko on the 2012 NTMA
Indeed.
show. Did they reach out to you, or did you hear they wanted a voice and you came in and auditioned?
It's funny, a couple of times I've gotten jobs just because I was Michaelangelo. And the producer of that show was like, he was trying to make it a throwback. He was trying to, sort of wink at the audience. So, yeah, they reached out to me. Another time, there was a Netflix series called Puss in Boots. They did an offshoot of the Shrek character thing. And there are these three villains in it. They're the three little pigs. And for this show, they intentionally hired Mikey Kelly, Greg Sipes, and me. So it was all Mikeys playing the three little pigs. I was like, that is so inside baseball. Like, who is this joke for? Unbelievable.
Right, so a lot of times voice actors are in ensemble casts, and a lot of times you're doing like voice work when you're in a booth. For Ninja Turtles, were you for both the 2012 and for the movie? Were you with the ensemble, or was it all in?
The cartoon, we did it as an ensemble. The original movies were all one actor at a time. Sometimes I marvel at how much everybody, like when you're a voice actor, your ears are your biggest ally, and it amazes me that it sounds like they're all talking to each other, even though nobody ever was in the same room together. Button. All right, welcome to show business. You're in.
So would you say that it was a lot more fun, or was it? You think it was easier to do it, the ensemble, or would you?
It's always in this era of mocap, and the way they're making movies now, where it's all green screen, and that you have actors they're acting to a tennis ball, where and that's your job. It's what you're supposed to do. Actually, any voiceover people. If you want to know how to really do it well, on YouTube, there is a making of Benedict Cumberbatch's scene from Destruction of Smog, and it's him in a motion capture suit doing all of the dragon lines as the dragon, but they also show what they ended up animating, and it is unbelievable how in the moment Benedict Cumberbatch is for this scene, considering that from head to toe he's in a leotard with dots all over his face, and he still manages to get across this incredible scene where they're trying to steal the whatever from him. And I'm very literal. I'm very good at that. The thing that goes on with the stuff and the boom. Yeah, but it's really amazing. But in this world that we live in now of motion capture and stuff, it's really hard actually to act to nothing. As a matter of fact, you have to basically what actors do is the entire world is an appliance box. And what I mean by that is, when we were kids, if somebody in the neighborhood got a new refrigerator or a dishwasher or something, that box, once it was unloaded, it went outside. And once outside, Well, the kids have now turned it into a fort, or they've turned it into a castle, or it's a spaceship, or whatever. This is, and while you were doing it, while you were in this box, pretending it was a spaceship or a whatever, it wasn't a box anymore. When you're 5 years old, you have the ability to make the box transform into this thing you're imagining. And in that Cumberbatch thing, that's exactly what he's doing. It's really an amazing thing to watch. And so my point, though, with all of that, yes, green screen world. It's way more fun to do it with people. It's just like a lot of things. There are a lot of things in the world that are a lot more fun to do with people than not. Kissing. Kissing is a lot more fun to do with people and in the occasional pet, but it has to be there. You know, I've acted with dogs before. The dog is there. If I have to pretend the dog isn't there, it's a little more challenging. So it's always more fun to do it with people, because also you get the opportunity. There are people out there who do this a lot, actually a lot more than me. You know, guys like Jim Cummings and Debbie Derryberry and these people. And they bring so much more than just the lines. You'll be in the middle of doing a thing with, 4 or 5 people in a room, and somebody will ad-lib something, and the people in the booth who will freak out at first because they're like, those aren't the words we wrote. Those aren't the, and then they'll go, oh, but it's funny though. let them go do the thing. And you're always going to have those moments being in a room with other people. You can ad-lib things by yourself, but I like people. It's more, art made with. I don't like bands that are a drum machine and 2 guys. I don't really like that. That's not. You're not playing with people. I like that possibility that something can go horribly, horribly wrong. Yeah. Well, yeah. You can show me the slickest band in the world, and I'll be like, they're good. You can tell they rehearsed a lot. But then put on something that looks like it could fall apart at any given moment, and I am riveted. It's just, I like that. I like that danger. A lot of our entertainment that we have now has gotten way too sanitized. There's it's like even the danger, if there is any, is manufactured. So Saw, or any movies like and they're perfectly fine, but it's slickly. There's no real danger there. The Human Centipede is a real movie. That anything that makes you go no. God, that's what I want to be involved in. Yeah, I do. Oh no, I've been on the. I've emailed Tom Six, the guy who directed it, and I'm like, look, just go to my IMDb page. All right, I'm not joking. I'm legit. I've done shit. I want to be in your thing, whatever it is. Yeah.
I can't wait to rewatch this and see how you get from Turtles to Human Centipede. That's going to be pretty cool.
You know what? My Kevin Bacon number is 1. Let's just say that.
What was it like working with Corey Feldman?
I've known Corey since we were kids. There was a coterie of kid actors. Corey, me, Brad Savage, a couple of other people. Corey was one of them. Phil Tanzini. But we got everything. So if I didn't get that job, it was going to be Corey, or it was going to be Phil, or it was going to be Brad. And so we would go into casting sessions, and the actor kids, we all got along fine because we're 10, and we're like not at school at the moment, and we're losing our minds, and all that's great. We would walk into this thing, and we would see parents put their arms around their children like, there they are, you know. So I've known Corey forever, and yeah, you know, through it all, and Corey is, you know, he's crazy as a shithouse mouse, but that said, the guy's got incredible skill, and he's a fearless performer. I you know, much respect to the man. Yeah.
We got time for one more question, so...
Yeah, gentlemen. Once again, this side of the room, although he's a little non-committal, there's a little bit of over here involved.
Yeah, Robbie, so I just wanted to ask quickly, how were you able to transition from a child actor to, you know, more older roles, voice acting?
Very painfully.
And musicianship and all.
You know, I don't know. It was all... in my case, it was all a continuum, and I was lucky in that when it looked like on-camera roles were starting to drop off a little bit, and basically an actor's career is a series of pulling the damn thing up the hill, getting to the top of the hill a little bit, and then you roll back to the bottom of the hill. So I've managed to keep my hills high enough and my valleys not that low, and just when I wasn't working over here, I went looking over here. Somebody told me when I was young, I forget who, but when I was young, somebody said, if you're going to be in entertainment, don't specialize. Learn how to do it all. Be a singer, be a dancer, be, you know, and I'll say as a dancer, I'm a pretty good actor. But learn to do as much stuff as possible. So I produced a horror movie in 2006. I'm writing a comic book now. I'm creating a web series right now. I'm reading for voiceover jobs. I'm teaching people voiceover. I'm doing their demos, stuff like that. So pretty much, I'm just like a freelance plumber. I just go wherever somebody goes. You know, we have a job. What? I'm on my way. And then that's kind of it. There was very little of that. Kid actor, difficult time, adult working. I missed the difficult time almost completely. So I'm kind of hoping to go back to that. Maybe when, I'm in my 60s, that'll be the time for all the drug problems, and that would be awesome.
It's good to have goals.
Yeah, I'm aiming high.
Yeah. So Cousin Oliver, was that style yours originally, or was that Hollywood manufactured? The John Denver sort of look that you had?
No. I look. Okay. I'm first generation American in my family.
Oh, cool.
So my parents are German, and in Germany, every child looked like that back then. So it was all page boy haircuts and round glasses. It was like Village of the Damned meets the Brady Bunch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that how they sold it?
I believe it was. Okay. I believe that's what they said. Village of the Damned meets the Brady Bunch. I'm in! It's Rambo meets Alien. All right.
I would watch that a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No. It's that's what I look like.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm also glad that you kind of don't quite have that same look.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, when I was young, I looked like my mom. I look like my dad now. It's kind of and my dad with a page boy haircut, not flattering, not flattering at all. Right. Yeah. But yeah, it was. And it's fortunate. I mean, it's a weird perfect storm kind of thing that just around the time that I decided to be a performer, John Denver got successful. And so here was already, and he had what? Page boy haircut and round glasses.
Yep.
It just turned out that way. But, it got me work.
Did you ever get to meet him?
Yeah, I was in one of his specials.
I'd heard that, but I couldn't confirm it.
Yeah, I was in one of his specials. And, one of the things I really love about doing this is I'm a history nut.
Right.
I love the history of entertainment. I love history in general. I'm the member of my family who is like, don't throw out any pictures. Give me all the old home movies. I'm the archivist. I'm going to hang on to all this stuff. It's what it's a thing that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And so the history of the job that I'm in is sometimes, I'll have to look, somebody will be like, did you work on this thing? And I'll have to go to my IMDb page or whatever. And I'll look at the cast list. I was in a movie in 1991 with Julianne Moore.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, now I could talk about how bitter I am about different career trajectories and all of that, but the truth of the matter is, hey, I was in a movie with Julianne Moore. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
And there's all these on the John Denver thing, I worked with Dick Van Dyke.
Oh,
Dick Van Dyke is television royalty.
Yep.
Dick Van Patten.
Yeah.
Somebody just unearthed a anti-smoking film I did. It was 3 months after we shot the last Brady episode, and Happy Days was just starting.
Right.
And this anti-smoking movie is Tom Bosley and the mom from Happy Days.
Yes. Whose name I cannot remember.
Yeah, Miriam. Whatever.
Yeah.
So it's those two as a married couple living in the Brady house, and but anyway, it's Tom Bosley and Mrs. Cunningham.
That is cool.
Back when they were just kind of working actor people,
Right.
like at one time, the Brady Bunch is like this.
Yeah.
It wasn't this iconic thing. It was just a television show.
Yeah.
And only over the decades of it sticking around have people, continued to help it grow.
Right.
So, but back then, it was just another job, right, for both of them.
That's cool.
And yet, there's Bob. There he is, a little page boy haircut, round glasses. He looks like John Denver, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I brought it up. But yeah, so is there anywhere people can go to find your music?
I have a Bandcamp. There's a RobbieRist.net if you want to there's all kinds of stuff there. And, Facebook and the regular social media platforms. And,
Awesome.
And I'm like, I answer instant messages, whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So go check out his music pages.
Yeah.
Download his songs legally.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, you guys, and thank you for great questions. It was delightful.